Oh, you done messed up, NFL. You let Shawn Payton get the running back of his dreams in the second round, trading back. Oh, what have you done? RJ Harvey is already surprising folks, not just in Denver media, but across the NFL. We've got a ton of highlights to break down from the first day and second day of NFL Mini Camp for your Denver Broncos. If you're new to the channel, I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan named Ben, and it helps me and the algorithm out a ton. If you like the Broncos, will you smash that like and subscribe button? So everyone who was saying we reached on RJ Harvey came out and said, like, he's only 5'8", he's a small running back, like, he's a change of pace back, he's not a third every down back, he's definitely not a 3-down back. And what we are starting to see here are just some images coming out, some routes coming out. And bro, look, there is nothing small about RJ Harvey. People are already saying, like, hey, he's the new Quadzilla. I feel like the circumference of one of his thighs is bigger than my waist. Just absolutely wild. And so to see him and all the cut-ups of him running at Broncos Mini Camp, and then you juxtapose those with the exact same thing of Ashton Jeanty. No one says Ashton Jeanty is small. Yeah, I would say pound for pound, we've got the exact same type of explosive running back in RJ Harvey, but don't take my word for it because you are hearing that out of every single person who saw him in person. You're seeing Cecil Lammey, you're seeing Andrew Mason, all the DNVR guys saying the biggest thing that surprised them was the quick feet and the pass catching. There was a Twitter thing going around the other day that someone tweeted out RJ Harvey had 3 drops in the first day of minicamp, and then he responded to that with the cap emoji being like, you're lying. Shawn Payton backed that up and said he's not dropping balls, and RJ Harvey is a very, very capable pass catcher. But let's take a look at just some of the explosiveness. Remind yourself of the size of those quads, and then how do you get quads like that to move like this? It's just absolutely wild what we have here. This is every bit as exciting as watching Omarion Hampton or Ashton Jeanty and their highlights coming out of their mini camp. And so I'm feeling even better about this pick than I was just a few weeks ago. I watched a 10-minute YouTube walkthrough of his highlights from UCF, and this dude is an absolute stud. Yet the question has come up, well, is he a change of pace back? Are we going to have to sub him out on third down? And Shawn Payton stopped an interviewer in the midst of his question and said, hey, I know what you're going to ask here. I know the question. Is he a 3-down back? Well, he's going to be playing on third downs. And rightfully so. If you take a look at just like all of the routes, and there's probably 10 of these floating around Twitter right here. Look at him on wheel routes. Go back and watch him at UCF, and he's creating an incredible amount of space on wheel routes. This is the question we had going in, like, can he do that? And now it's starting to seem like Shawn Payton got him because he can do that. It's crazy. And if you take a look at NFL history, the deepest route running, what is this stat is basically saying yards per route from running backs. How many Shawn Payton running backs are you seeing on here in NFL history? We're talking the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, and Reggie Bush down here, the number 15. A running back who can also be a pass catcher is a lethal combination for Shawn Payton, and then NFL messed up and let us get him, and I'm just thrilled with it. I think this offense next year is going to absolutely feed families, and I think Bo Nix going into year 2, he now has a tight end in the middle, and now he has the perfect running back that Shawn Payton wants, and I'm just really, really excited to see that. And then to all the critics saying, like, he's a small running back, he basically said, hey, there's a difference between a small guy and being a short runner. This just makes his, like, pad level so much lower that he's 5'8", but there's nothing small about him. And if you ever think there is, just take a look at my screensaver background, because it's not going to be Bo Nix shirtless anymore. It's now going to be RJ Harvey's thighs, because those are just absolutely wild. And to do that and then run sub 4.4, it's just crazy, and I can't wait for next season. Other cool things we saw out of minicamp was just kind of some of the excitement. Again, folks saying that we reached on getting Caleb Lohner in the 7th round. We then heard, oh, actually, you know what? The Patriots head coach, Mike Vrabel, had called him and wanted him. The Colts had a deal with him if he went undrafted. Also, the Jets wanted him. Also, several other teams, Houston Texans. Shawn Payton talks about exactly why that is, and I loved hearing this. Had me crazy excited.
There's 2 or 3 clips where I'm like, play it again. And then when you watch them,
there's 2 or 3 clips that he saw of him in college. Is like, play that again. Let's get that on repeat. And I think we are going to be seeing him feast on red zone with Bo Nix hooking up to him on repeat all season long. And I'm so excited about it. Other exciting news, player that definitely popped in this training camp, and we're going to cover some defensive players probably tomorrow in Shawn Payton's full press conference, but the other player who seemed to absolutely just jump off of the field to the reporters in person was definitely Pat Bryant, rocking the number 13, looking fantastic. And Just loved seeing his route running, because this is where Shawn Payton said that he saw the comparisons with him and Michael Thomas. It's not about 40 time in your underwear. It's are you able to create space because you have such immaculate footwork that you get open? His RAS score is exactly the same as Amon St. Brown, who's one of the best route runners in football. If the Broncos got that, and then at the end of this highlight, watch how good his hands are, it doesn't even seem fair. Like, you just see a crazy amount to make that type of separation off some of those juke cuts, and it matches to what you saw him do in the Big Ten. Just looks like an incredible talent, and truly a steal of the draft. If he ends up being even a fraction of Michael Thomas's skill set, the Broncos have just completed their wide receiver room, and I'm thrilled to death with it. Love at the very end of this route, watch this fingertip catch. It looks so effortless, and we know at that Buffalo game how many drops we had. Pat Bryant, 1 drop in his entire last year in Illinois, yet none of us still know his quarterback's name. Love hearing him talk about how hyped he is to be in Denver. That's a sneaky part. Like, Denver, for whatever reason, is flyover country as you're going to California or you're going to the East Coast. And so it's a lot of players' first time ever being in the state of Colorado. But as you see, this state has a way of hooking people that when you are from there, you never want to leave. That's why Peyton Manning still lives there. That's why Von Miller took so long to sell his house. That's why you just go down the list of both Nuggets and Broncos who still live there. So he talks about that, and then listen to what he says here at the end about the tone and the vibe that Shawn Payton sets.
Great vibes. Weather's pretty nice. A great environment. You can tell, like, Shawn Payton brings a different vibe.
Shawn Payton brings a different vibe. Like, that is something I've been saying for a long time, and you're now hearing it echoed from so many players. I hope the rest of the NFL is taking notice. And I think all you have to do is look at the analytics to see the type of vibe change that Shawn Payton has ushered into Denver. So this is a graph that shows the amount of where you rank when it comes to scoring on your first possession. And you remember that entire Russell Wilson era. It was like, man, if we get the ball first, we're punting that real quick here, or we're doing a strip sack or whatever. And you take a look here that we were, 4 years ago, we were 4th to last in the NFL. Then we jumped up. We still are out of the top 20. Then the year with Nathaniel Hackett, we were dead last in the NFL. And then Shawn Payton took us from dead last in the NFL to top 20 with Russell Wilson. And when he finally got the quarterback that he wanted, who was a rookie, he ended up being a top 10 coach when it comes to scoring on first possessions. I think if you were to take out those first 2 games against Seattle and Pittsburgh, as Bo was learning what it takes to be a quarterback in the NFL, you're talking the Broncos being a top 5 team when it comes to scoring on their first possessions, and I think that's going to be a lethal combination. Also get great news. We'd heard a lot about Dre Greenlaw being out for the whole season or missing all of training camp. The San Francisco account tweeted that, and Shawn Payton really dispelled that. Dre Greenlaw had already dispelled it, but Shawn Payton reiterated he's going to be ready to rock for training camp, and that's really exciting. Last piece of news to cover here is that the New Orleans Saints are now without a quarterback, that Derek Carr retired from the NFL, will not be joining the New Orleans Saints next year, which means that they are talking that Tyler Slaw kid or Spencer Rattler as their starting quarterback. And it's clear that their eyes are on 2-3 years down the road. We know Archie Manning's up for and going to be available to be drafted in a couple of years, and they're going to be hunting for a quarterback. So they may be trying to fold things in. Shawn Payton is very tied into Mickey Loomis and that entire front office. And so if Chris Olave is on the trade block, I would definitely keep your eyes open for that in Broncos country, because we've just seen how many former New Orleans Saints has Shawn Payton corralled here to Denver. I lost count after it was like 17 with players and former coaches and all of that kind of stuff. So Chris Olave coming to Denver would just be an absolute difference maker, and that would help take the pressure off of Pat Bryant to hit right away. I think it brings a veteran presence in addition to Cortland Sutton, and just gives you depth that if anyone gets hurt, that would be an incredible addition. And I would argue that he has not played with a quarterback like he will be playing with in Bo Nix in most of his career. And so I think you would see his numbers absolutely skyrocket. But Shawn Payton has shown us he is extremely confident in the offense that we have and in this wide receiver room. And so I also wouldn't be shocked if the Broncos do not sniff at that, and Shawn Payton wasn't blowing smoke up anyone's whatever, because he actually believes in this wide receiver room. But Broncos country, our rookies are hitting. We've got so much to believe in.